Why do you think we haven't seen any trades amongst first rounders or into the first round or out of the first round? We haven't seen one yet. Why do you think that's the case, Todd?
I think there's a couple things. I think a couple teams in the top 10 at least temporarily solved their quarterback situation for next year.
Right.
It doesn't mean that when you bring in Justin Fields, that prevents you from drafting Jackson Dart, the Ole Miss quarterback at number 7, if you're the Jets. And that's something I think we should probably start paying a little bit of attention to. Doesn't mean a 35-year-old Geno Smith next season for the Las Vegas Raiders, that maybe if they've got a guy that they don't want to draft a quarterback there. But we know there are 2 quarterbacks that are probable to go in the top 3, but not definite. And I think honestly, it's all hinging on Tennessee right now. We know their process. They would freak out if you told them the draft was today, because they're not done with their process. That's a process, whether it's Brian Callahan and what he went through with Joe Burrow, the organization and what they believe in. They want to finish their process. And I think Albert Breer had a great article about, the 4 guys and what they're going to go through leading up to the draft. So once they've made the decision, and if it's not Cam Ward, that's when I expect the phone lines to open up. But as of right now, according to everyone I've talked to, and I think the sources that you talk to, and they're well sourced, that those calls are not being made at this point in time. So I think that's the first domino, and we'll find out probably, I would guess, in the next week or so if Tennessee is interested in moving out or Tennessee's all set and we don't need to get on the phone.
Well, maybe what would influence Tennessee would be a Godfather offer from a team that doesn't get Aaron Rodgers. Maybe his process is causing a little bit more of a slow motor in New Jersey and Pittsburgh, right?
Yes, but I'll say this, Tennessee, yes, slow motor from the teams that potentially could be trying to move up. I agree with that.
Okay.
Tennessee, you know how it goes. Like, if you finish your process of the evaluation and you've spent the time flying to Cam Ward and working him out individually and putting your installs in, and you've brought him into your place and he's met everyone there, and you've spent time on the board with him and watching tape and picking his brain and getting to know how he mentally processes. And when you're done with that, if you think he's the guy, there shouldn't be a compensation package that would move you off that spot, would kind of be my answer. But if you either decide we're all in on Cam or we're going to go with the best player in this draft, and that's Abdul Carter, the edge rusher from Penn State, and we think we might be able to, we know we could get him at 2, and we think there's a decent chance we could get him at 3, but probably going to be Travis Hunter there. And so we're out of the quarterback market with this first pick in the 25 draft. So I think that's what's happening right now.
What would you counsel Tennessee to do 34 days before the draft, Todd? What would you counsel?
I would take Cam Ward. I think he has the talent to be developed. I think you brought in a coach in Callahan who has worked with Joe Burrow, who can help in the development process. I think when you get these opportunities, you got to take them. I mean, you can't look at that division, not just the NFL, but that division and the quarterbacks that are in it. And so you have a chance with a guy who's got some really unique things about his game, from the arm angles to I love his on schedule stuff. Like when he gets to the top of his drop and is decisive with where he wants to go with the football, he's a flat out assassin. Okay. And so in addition to that, the arm angles and the off schedule things and what he can create, he's got to work. He's got to speed up his mental process. There's no question. Make some decisions that frighten you at times. But we said the same stuff about Patrick Mahomes. We've said the same stuff about Josh Allen, said the same stuff about Lamar Jackson. These are areas that can be improved upon. Do you have the skill set to be great at the next level? And I think the answer with Cam is yes. And so that's why I think it's been awfully quiet in Nashville. You're not getting a lot of information out. There's no one reporting of calls being made and contact being had with Tennessee. I think they're getting close to finalizing the decision that Cam Ward's the number 1 pick.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.